Hello everybody. Normally you would be seeing my husband's face right now. However, last year we did a friendly competition of laser engraved Christmas projects. All of my projects won. We decided we're just gonna go with my ideas this year. I get to do this video by myself. My husband may or may not show up.
I'm literally right here.
Could be unlucky or lucky for you. Depends on how much you like his face.
Okay, that's rude.
Okay, so first up, you guys know I am a mom and I'm always looking to make something for my kids, whether it is like a personalized item or just something cute and fun for them to do, which is why I went ahead and made these cute little holiday coloring kits. So when designing these coloring kits, I just chose a variety of Christmas characters that I thought the kiddos would enjoy coloring, and then I typed in their custom name and I added that to the bottom of the image. Once I had everything sized and centered, I just selected both of those items and created a small offset around them both. That way I could cut them as a complete unit together. So what's also kind of nice about these little paint kits is I have a ton of wood scraps from other projects that I make, and they're like the perfect size for me to cut a few of these little paint kits out on. And that way I can use up some of my scrap pile. After a quick job on the laser, my kiddos were ready to get coloring. You could easily paint these as well. We just happened to use markers because we had them on hand. This was a super quick 10-minute project for me, and hopefully this will keep my kids busy for at least another 10 minutes after the fact. If you wanted to, you could always throw these into a stocking as a quick stocking stuffer, and then you got a nice little personalized gift. Grand reveal. Ooh, nice.
I did it all myself.
So for our second project, it was just inevitably gonna be on the list, and that is ornaments. The reason I love ornaments so much is I like to make personalized ornaments, and you can also just customize an ornament to any sort of hobby or topic that somebody likes. I like this little one I made for a furry friend. Another great thing about ornaments is you can make them as simple or as complicated as you would like. That means that your laser equipment does not have to be something super fancy. You don't need a $6,000 laser to go out and make some Christmas ornaments. I picked up this package of blank ornaments that I'm going to be engraving on the X-Tool F2 today. Because they are metal and I want a quick engraving, I'm going to hit them with some of this marking spray. After the marking spray is dried, all I have to do is center it up on my laser. I did that both in the camera and also by framing just to make sure it was perfect. You can use this marking spray with either a diode or a CO2 laser, but the benefit behind it is that it will give you a nice black image on an item like metal that otherwise would not have a nice black image. After your engraving is done, all you have to do is clean off the excess marking spray, and then you have a perfectly good ornament. Using metal is a quick way to change up the dynamic if you're always using wood. With that being said, I did make a full SVG set of all of these Christmas phrases for you guys, and we will have those listed on our Etsy. If you own a laser engraver, the chances of you having engraved a cutting board at some point in your laser journey are probably pretty high. With this specific project, I wanted to kind of keep it more Christmas aura-like. That is why I decided to go with a recipe engraved cutting board. The first thing I'm going to do is cut out a template so that Marcus can go ahead and create this cutting board for us. If you are not a woodworker and you don't want to get into the details of all of that, you are free to just go to any store and purchase a pre-made cutting board yourself. Those work perfectly just fine. Once I had the template cut out, I started typing out my specific recipe. For this one, I went with chocolate chip cookies because who doesn't love chocolate chip cookies? I chose to type this out in a nice handwritten font so that it looked more authentic. If you had a family member's recipe and also their specific handwriting, you could engrave that on the board as well, and that would make this item much more sentimental. What I kind of appreciate about having a template is I can pretty much size the recipe or anything that I'm going to engrave, for that matter, perfectly onto the board, and that just makes one of those jobs a lot easier for me. Also, I don't know if anybody else does this, but I usually will mark the center of my cutting boards, and then I'll do a quick close view shot of it. That way I know This is exactly where that line is on the bed. And then I'll just draw a straight line mimicking that mark. And that is actually how I center up my image on my cutting board. It'll automatically lock to the center. After engraving a project like this, it requires you to sand it, dust it off, and oil it up. The thing I love about this project is the versatility behind it. You can create this as an option to sell, and you can offer that to your customers, or you can gift it to somebody. Or if you want, just keep it for yourself. You can have your own little personal keepsake. It's a fast, quick, easy project to get done for the holiday season.
I know for a fact somebody has been watching this video begging to see my beautiful face again on screen, and here I am. With this next project, there's gonna be some woodwork involved, so I'm gonna be chopping wood to make a door leaner for our front porch. I just got through finishing a scrap wood Christmas decor video, so you know I'm still digging in the trash for supplies for projects like these, and I've had this 3/4 inch strip of plywood laying in the backyard for a while, so we're gonna use it. I'm just taking and marking it evenly into 3 different rectangles, taping it off, and after I tape those rectangles off, I lightly apply a coat of stain to the middle section. The plan is to paint the other sections, so that's why I'm staining the middle. That's what we in the business call good enough. After that, I found this logo on Etsy, cut it out on the laser, and then I'm using the negatives of those cuts to glue everything perfectly in place, which is something my wife taught me, but I don't want to give her credit because she's already taken credit for being the best at laser stuff, so no more credit for her. Obviously, Christmas colors are green, white, red, and I just randomly decided which ones to paint those specific colors, so don't ask me for the method in the madness. After gluing everything in, I got bored, so I'm out of here. Well, Marcus bowed out of the door leaner project because he said there's too many details. I'm here to save the day. I think I want this base to be white, but Marcus already added some letters in, so I'm gonna cover that up. I'm not gonna be super particular because I want it to have a little bit of a distressed look. All right, so I got some stencil paper here. I have never used this, and this is gonna be a first for all of us. Here's to hoping that this is about to work. Alrighty, I think we have ourselves a stencil. So once the stencil was done, I took it inside, taped it to our board, and me and the kids went to town painting all of these fun items. Did it come out perfectly? Absolutely not, but that's okay. We weren't going for perfect. Once everything was painted, I took a quick trip to Hobby Lobby. I grabbed a little bit of greenery, and then I tied up a nice little red bow so that we could glue it onto the top of the board. You could also staple this. I just didn't know where the stapler was, and so I glued it. Then it was time to get the front porch ready for the Christmas season. If you don't recognize this Christmas door hanger that we made last year, that means you need to go watch last year's laser video. Once everything was set up, the door leaner fit in perfectly with everything else, and now our house is looking a little more festive. When you think of Christmas, one of the main things you think about are all of the memories you have with your family. And over here, we are all about family time. That is why I wanted to make this Christmas checklist, I guess you can call it, bucket list, whatever you want to call it. It's just an easy way to keep track of all of the fun things that you're doing throughout the Christmas season. So I tried to go with a fairly simple design on this checklist because I knew there was going to be a ton of text involved. I chose a bunch of different activities that I thought we would usually do for the Christmas season, and I added them in there with a little checkbox next to it. I titled it with the best Christmas ever, and then I also added some holes in so that I could tie a rope through it to hang on the wall. So I just got done cutting out my checklist, and now I'm going to move on to cutting out my acrylic squares. Those are going to go in all of these little score marks so that they can check it off whenever they're done with a dry erase marker. To make this easy on myself so that I don't have to place 18 different squares on my canvas here, I'm just gonna select one of my squares and then go to grid array right here. And then I'm going to create however many columns I need to make 18. I want to give the board a little more of a pop of color, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the title, Best Christmas Ever, out of this red acrylic that we got from the X-Tool website. Just a quick FYI, you're going to want to use glossy acrylic, otherwise your dry erase marker won't erase. After I had all of my acrylic cut out, all I had to do was glue it on the board, and we were ready for our very first Christmas activity, and that was putting up the tree.
And that is going to wrap up our 5 laser engraved projects for the Christmas season. I hope you guys were inspired to go out and use your laser some. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because Marcus would be very upset if I did not tell you all to do that. Hope you'll have a Merry Christmas and I will see y'all later.